Welcome on in, everybody. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. Miami Heat will be back in action Tuesday night as they welcome in the Milwaukee Bucks. In-season tournament, the last one of group play. As you can tell, I'm very on edge because the Miami Heat not only have to win, but they have to win by a huge margin of victory for tiebreakers. If you guys are into the in-season tournament and that type of thing, we'll see what happens with this whole matchup. I think that this one probably is going to have enough drama on its own because, of course, you have Damian Lillard, who is going to be making his way to Miami. And I am curious to see what the reaction is going to be like from the fans. Is it going to be applause? Is it going to be boos? Is it going to be indifferent? I feel like indifference is not going to be the thing. There's obviously a little less drama because no Tyler Hero, although there was an update. He was working out today. He did not participate in practice, but he was getting some shots up at practice. So that is some good news for Boy Wonder. According to Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, he's expected to miss at least another week before return to game action. His ankle was reevaluated over the weekend. So Tyler Hero is getting closer, but is not. They're not going to rush him back, which I think is the smart thing. I think you take your time with this. You're obviously at home, and also, you have a softer landing, I would say, next week with the games against Charlotte and Chicago. Ease them on in, So that's the way it's looking right now for the Miami Heat. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. What is the reaction going to be like for Damian Lillard and his arrival in Miami as a rival? This is the first time Damian Lillard is on a rival team. They're 12-5. They're off to a good start. His shooting hasn't been, fantastic, but he's still averaging 26 points a game, and is maybe not, shooting lights out like he normally is. He's shooting like 41%, and he's like 33% from downtown, but is getting to the free throw line a ton, and is still a very effective weapon. And one has to wonder, what is this going to be like? And the other thing that's going to be interesting is this is going to be, I imagine, the first matchup we'll see him versus Bam. That, of course, was not in the last matchup because Bam missed the first Milwaukee game this year. And those two being the very big, very much the conduit as to this whole thing of the rumor mill this offseason. That's his guy. That's the guy he talks to every day. They are very, very close. So curious to see all of that. And to hear Dame's reaction to it, Bam's reaction to it. It'll be an interesting night for sure at the Kaseya Center tomorrow for the in-season tournament. Looking forward to seeing what the atmosphere is going to be like there tomorrow night. I wanted to do another video because Nikola Jovic has come out. He came out of practice today and clarified, I guess is the best way you could put it. He clarified what had been put out there in an interview with Serbian media. We had talked about this, and I put on the front end of this a couple of things. One, bear in mind, I was translating these quotes with Google Translate. I realized that probably some things were going to be lost in translation, misinterpreted in translation, but also I did want to make clear whatever was lost in translation or whatever Nico wanted to put out there, however dark it may have came off or as sad it may have come off, or if some fans took it as complaining, I agreed with a lot of with a lot that was said in the article with Serbian media. I agree with a lot of it. I thought that him being misused or his role not being the best for him or whatever, I agree with a lot of that. I think that is, but I don't think he's a malcontent. I don't think that Nikola Jovic is first of all, a kid works very hard. We can see this. Yes. Like everybody has seen the massive weight that he has put on his body with muscle and the workouts that he puts through. Very hard on himself too. I mean, I don't know if, I probably watched Nikola Jovic work out more than any other player before games, maybe. And kid's just very hard. He's verbally very hard on himself. Talks out a lot of his workouts. Not everybody's like that. A lot of the guys take their stuff internally. He's not like that. So I really didn't have a problem with what he said. Not saying if he said it, but if he had any hard feelings about stuff or was going through some stuff, I think that stuff's fine. I don't bat an eye out of that stuff. I know that the Heat really, more so than a lot of other organizations, they really like to keep things buttoned up. They really like keeping everybody on the same page. They don't like anybody rocking the boat. Which is, it's the way they run. They like same message, everybody on the same page. Why they don't have a lot of people talk. Why does Andy Ellisberg not talk a lot? Why does Pat Riley not talk a lot? Because Spo's the voice. Spo is the guy who speaks on behalf of the organization for the most part. Why does Mickey not do a lot of media? Why does Nick Harrison not do a lot of media? Because one voice. They like to try and keep a unified front. But, I didn't find this to be, like a Molotov cocktail of controversy. I thought this was an interesting story about a kid who had a great summer, comes into this season thinking that he's going to have a big-time role, and doesn't. It basically has a non-existing role. I guess got sick at one point in the middle of all this, but really, hasn't, played in a blowout and then played with everybody hurt. And I found it fascinating because I was expecting him to play more. And we have seen one rookie really emerge. And I understand that he's older than Nikola Jovic. He's a couple years older because he went to college. But, it's not like the Heat are not trusting of a rookie. So I'm sure that had to add to any of it. But he does want to make the point that he was taken out of context. And so here is Nikola Jovic. I'm going to play 3 clips for you here. The first is his whole statement, but I'm dividing it in 2 parts just because I don't want to roll through here 2 minutes uninterrupted. But we'll hear the first part of it, react to a little bit, and then we'll play the rest of it, react to it, and then I got one more thing on here that I thought was interesting. So here was Nikola Jovic meeting with the media earlier today.
No. I never guessed it's going to end up like that, but things I said are totally different. I said a couple of those things in a different ways, so I'm going to say it again in English, so you the guys don't need to translate it, and nobody's going to make it up because you're going to have a video of me saying it. Basically what I said is this team is playing great without me, and middle-wise, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, this team is playing great, so, there's no point of even, playing me right now. And I get it. I totally get it. So that was the first thing. Second thing I said is, I was talking about the G League. So G League, playing-wise, you don't have a 5, so I'm playing at 5. And sometimes it's not easy to play the things that you're not really good at, Which playing in 4, I'll probably be a lot better. And that's basically it. So...
All right, so there's his first part. He's trying to backtrack, saying we're playing great. There's no point in playing me. And also that the whole thing about the G League and the 5, we don't have a 5, so I'm playing out of position, but I'm trying to do what the team needs, which, a couple of things. One, the team's playing good. I wouldn't say the team is playing lights out. I don't think that they're beyond tinkering still with some things. I think they're a team figuring it out. I think Bam's having a monster season. I think Jimmy looks like he's rounding into form. Jaime looks really good. Kyle's going to do Kyle stuff. Duncan Robinson, when he's healthy, obviously looks like a lock. Haywood Highsmith obviously had some great moments, but had some ups and downs of taking care of the basketball. Caleb Martin's not all the way back. Kevin Love is, coin flip on the shooting. He does his Kevin Love stuff. I don't think that and then of course Tyler Hero's out. So that's another huge wrinkle into all of this. And I get it. What Spo said this coming into the year, the team is deep. They are a deep team. They are a team. Jay Rich, of course, is getting his run as well. But the one thing I would say about this, not to be the mouthpiece for Jovic and the Jovic fan club, but the idea that the team is completely set and they have figured the best version of themselves out yet, I don't quite buy it. Look, this is a team that, yes, has gotten off the canvas from their 1-4 start. 10-7 is pretty good. They definitely could be in a better spot. They have blown a couple of big leads over this road trip. And yes, they've been banged up. And yes, they ended up banged up. And they've had a lot of games where they were very banged up and have missed Jimmy and have missed Bam. And okay, let's lay all that out there. But they are not an unflawed team. I think we all can see that. And one of the big problems has been the way this team closes games. And it's been a fourth quarter disaster, which is typically one of the times we're supposed not making as many changes. You know, he's been playing hockey as a ton of minutes in the fourth quarter. And, you know, you wonder if that's going to continue, if that's going to be a thing. Josh Richardson has been, you know, it's been nice seeing Jay Rich back. I don't know if, like, you know, he made the most points in that fourth quarter. That was a complete disaster. He's the only guy to make multiple baskets. But, you know, he's not exactly an offensive spark plug. And I know that this team wants to boa constrict and take every team into deep waters and try and strangle them and do all that stuff. And a lot of the times that defense will turn into offense and easy buckets for them. And I think part of the reason why, you know, Jaime is valuable is because, yeah, he can create his own shot when things slow down in those fourth quarters. But there's also somebody who said, you know, Nico is a good rebounder and getting out in space. And I'm not suggesting that he close, but man, I just think the guy knows how to find easy baskets. I get the defense is a struggle. I get that the defense, he looks a little bit lost. Young guys are going to struggle on defense. Tyler has for 4 years, maybe now is starting to get a hold of some things. You know, not everybody is Bam Adebayo locking up Steph Curry as a rookie in the corner. You know, that's the unicorn. That's the abnormal thing. Even Jaime was getting fed buckets by Jalen Brunson at the end of that game. It happens. I would deal with Nikola Jovic going through some growing pains on an NBA floor, especially in November, December of a regular season. Let's let the kid develop. Here's a little bit more. Let's not dive too much into it. Let's hear the rest of what Nico had to say on getting taken out of context.
I know you guys, you know, they're going to translate it, and you guys are not concerned about Serbian media a lot, but they love to do that, you know, and a lot of fake rumors. You guys talk to me a lot, you know I would never say something like that. First of all, I respect everybody here, and I've said a million times, everything they do for me is great. I'm going to get better here. I'm going to be there. I'm going to get better with them, you know, and that's it. I would never disrespect anyone like that. If I ever had a problem with anyone, I would talk to them personally. I would never go out in the media and say something like that. So I just want to make it clear, because yesterday I woke up, my phone was blowing up. I don't want that to happen again. My apologies for people with the Heat who work with the social media for talking to Serbian media, because it's not easy to talk to them. My apologies, guys, and that's it.
And look, first, this is a good dude who's really trying to do his best. And as I mentioned in the last video, this is something that Heat haven't really dealt with the too much. They obviously had Goran. You know, Goran, it's funny, man. Goran he's fluent in a lot of languages. There'd be people from Latin media, Spanish media, European media, all wanted to talk to Goran. Goran had to get to a point where he only wanted to answer questions in one language because, you know, everybody was coming at him with these questions. And especially when Zoom was a big thing during the pandemic, like you'd have all these international media coming in, and they'd be asking Goran in these, you know, 3 different languages the guy would have to do press conferences in. So, you know, I think when he's apologizing there to the media department, because he's like, you know, Serbian media came up to me. I don't want to be a jerk. This is people from home. They're covering me. People are interested in me. I just want a silver medal. And you could honestly, again, I'm reading this in Google Translate. You could tell from the tone of the article, like it was contentious. The writer, not the Nico parts. The writers perspective was a little contentious towards the Heat. Like, why is this guy who won us a silver medal not getting it? So I do get what Jovic is talking about there, as far as maybe his national media stirring things up as far as why he's not playing. Because think about it, this is a big deal. Serbia has arguably the greatest player on earth in Nikola Jokic. They just won the silver medal. They're feeling themselves froggily from a basketball perspective, understandably so. And, maybe he feels like they kind of took his words and ran with it for a narrative. I'm not sure, but I want to play just one more from Nico. He did mention that he was not frustrated with playing time, that he's not frustrated with playing time, so he did say that, but he also said that he would not say bad things about the organization.
Seems like you're a little annoyed or a little exasperated.
Yeah, because that never happened with you guys, and you can see why. Like, I would never say things like that, and they love to, cut certain things out, and so it seemed bad. When I woke up, I felt bad, but I thought, it's just Serbian media now. I didn't know people translating it and taking it that way, so yeah, I feel sorry. I'm gonna talk to the coaching staff and tell them that they know I would never say something like that. So I'm cool. I'm really cool. I just don't want to. I care only about them. I don't care about people outside here. So
there you go. So look, he's already whatever was said. He's already being programmed into being I've called him the Serbian Terminator. He's already getting programmed to being a robot. Like he's gonna not say anything fun for the rest of time. So thanks a lot, Max Edit or Max Bet, whatever the hell that thing was. You might have killed Fun Yovi. That's that may be the case. But look, lost in translation, not lost in translation. Again, I understand if Jovic is frustrated by some things, even if it's not towards the organization, even if it's just personally. I think it's okay to express those things. I'm fine with it. I think the guy's still going to be a good basketball player. You guys could freezing cold take me in 5 years and say, hey, that dude was a bum. But I think he's good. I think he brings energy. I think he naturally likes to give up the basketball and has some beautiful passes. I think he's turning into a friggin' moose. And defensive struggles, hey, dude, plenty of people in the NBA deal with some defensive struggles. This is an offensive league. That's the facts of it. It's an offensive league. And, I would like to see a little bit more of the kid. Personally, it's probably not going to happen because the writing's already been on the wall for this season. But a Tobes can hope. What can I say? So I feel bad that Nikola Jovic felt the need that he had to apologize to everybody and that he felt really bad because this is not a huge controversy. But also any feelings that he does have of struggles and frustration, I think those are okay things. I think as fans we got to hey, sometimes that's okay to feel that stuff. It is okay to feel that stuff. Tyler Hero, since basically his second year, wanted to start, and when they took away his starting job because he was turning the ball over too much and put him back on the bench, the guy never stopped saying how much he didn't want to be on the bench, but he did it. But it was okay. There was nothing wrong with Tyler Hero having a goal. It's okay for these guys to have goals, and it's okay for these guys to think more about themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. It does not typically affect how they're going to play basketball. So I hope he just bounces back from this. And part of me almost wishes Spo gives him minutes tomorrow night just to kind of, all right, let's give the kid another crack. Let's see what else he can do because it's the stupid in-season tournament. What are we doing here? This is not the playoffs. I know the Knicks fans out there like a bunch of dopes making themed T-shirts because they're losers and losers make loser merchandise. And I just think that it's hilarious that they celebrate November wins against the Heat like they're their championships because they are their championships. That's all they have. Otherwise, they'd have to go back to the 70s when they were actually using peach baskets to score in. So is what it is. I'm not mad at Nico, but I hope that this helps him move past all of this.